fight against armed volunteers Captain Kachua is a hectic and almost trippy battle. The first phase can't necessarily be called difficult, as Kachua herself only has 10 hit points, but the crap she throws at you in this fight is just crazy. The battle starts and soldiers get tossed at you all across the screen, followed by a falling pillar, then some soldiers floating in a circle, somersaulting soldiers, and a jet. Yeah, this game can't go 30 seconds without throwing another jet at you. Literally. And then you hit her once, and she dies. You have no idea what just happened. The second phase of the battle can technically be counted as a different boss altogether, since it's considered as part of level 1-3, but screw it, it says Kachua, so it's included. Why Kachua is now a Final Fantasy villain and Saki is now a Gundam, I don't know, but I won't bother questioning that right now. Kachua tries to slash and burn you in this phase. Once you clear this phase, the hiding Kachua phase begins, and Kachua will stand under what I'm assuming is lava, launching waves after waves of flame at you. You have to aim at the top of her head to defeat her. In the final phase, she backs up out of the lava and begins spamming homing lasers at you until you finally shoot her down. This bout could have been a little higher, but due to how short her health bar is in each round, at the epic scale the battle lives a little off. Alright, first things first. This boss battle is sort of like having a sword fight over a pit with a rhinoceros. Yeah, Radon's a weird battle too. As Saki, you have to slash at Radon to push him backwards, trying to get him into the hole behind him in order to cause a ton of damage. At the same time, Radon attempts to push you back by slamming into you itself, using energy blasts, or even shooting charged lasers that require some tricky jumping to avoid. There really isn't all that much to say about this battle. This is a fun fight with a rather creative concept to it. As the leader of the Nebulox and the main antagonist of Sin and Punishment 2, it stands to reason that Deko Gekisho is no pushover in battle. His fight spans 3 phases, and can get even more hectic than even the Kachua battle. I mean, look at this first phase. Look at it. I can't even describe what is going on here. The screen is just stuffed with soldiers, energy blasts, missiles, explosions, and laser beams. Deko's just sitting on the air, floating casually while you dance like a monkey and shoot explosions at him. Once that's done, things still haven't calmed down. The second phase of the battle pits you not only against Deko, but the dragon that somehow comes out of his scarf. Just go with it. This is the hardest part of the fight, as you're surrounded by mines in a scrolling screen no less, while Deko's dragon keeps trolling you, and Deko himself keeps shooting you. Once again, the only way to hurt Deku is through explosions, meaning you have to either use Issa's charge shots, or use melee attacks on certain mines in order to damage him. Once you beat this phase, you move on to the final one, in which Deko immobilizes Kachi and you have to...
I'm really going to enjoy this. Prepare to bleed.
No comment. After that, it's a one-on-one fistfight between Issa and Deko. The fighting here is a little awkward, and damaging Deko isn't too difficult, but he can give you a run for your money using uppercuts, slams, and flip kicks to deal a fair amount of damage. And if you don't keep your guard up, you can find your health dropping rather quickly. The battle against Deko is a fast-paced and crazy one, and despite its difficulty, it proves itself as a very fun battle to play through. Hey! Did you know Bowser's in this game? Well, not really. The Snapper Keeper is a giant turtle that you fight while falling down a well. That alone should be enough to get it this high, but I'll explain the battle anyway. When this fight begins, the Snapper Keeper will be in its shell shooting rings of bullets at you, which you need to keep inside of in order to avoid damage. Once the Keeper grabs onto the sides of the well, the action really begins, as the boss shoots deflectable missiles off its shell towards you, followed by a storm of boulders across the screen, followed by double flamethrowers, fiery slashes, and finally an attempt to actually eat you before the process begins again. Despite being one of the first few bosses in the game, this battle makes a huge impact. The entire epic atmosphere it has creates one heck of a boss battle. The final bosses of the two games were incredibly neck and neck on this list. Trying to decide whether or not the original's final boss or the sequel's final boss deserved to be above the other was difficult, but the sequel just barely won out, meaning number 3 is the final boss of the original Sin and Punishment, Earth Mimicry. Just look at this clip and tell me that it is not awesome. You, as a freaking Gundam, are standing on the planet Earth, defending it from a clone of the planet Earth that is shooting hundreds of missiles down onto the planet. You don't even have a life bar here, the Earth does. This battle is by far the most grand scale I've ever seen in a video game. Some context for those that haven't played the game or have played and just don't get it, which is sadly easy to do. A character named Achi, who's basically some all-powerful girl who travels with you through the game, ends up being a villain somehow, and it turns out she wants to replace the planet Earth with a mimicry that she created. At least, I think that's what happened. Story isn't this game's strong point. But honestly, with a battle this good, I don't care. The battle itself plays out with you not only need to defeat the Earth mimicry, but keep the real planet Earth from taking too much damage. Meaning you have to shoot down all the attacks the boss throws, while still getting some damage in. These attacks include bullets, more bullets, meteors, whatever those are, rocks, and even more bullets. Shooting these bullets back actually redirect them to the Earth mimicry, giving you some more help in defeating it. You literally cannot win this fight with lock-on, meaning you have to manually shoot every bullet that flies by, which is no easy task. I cannot even win this fight by myself. I had to plug in a second controller and have my sister help me beat it. This battle is challenging, fun, and just plain breathtaking to play, and is by far the best boss battle in the original Sin and Punishment. But, between the two games, the final boss of the sequel just is slightly better. You thought you saw the last of Deco back in Stage 6? Heck no! In Stage 7, the final stage of Sin and Punishment 2, you have to fight every member of the Nebulux in their own huge super forms. Each of these battles are incredibly difficult and can be rather fun, but I decided not to put any on this list. Well, except for one. The final boss of Sin and Punishment Star Successor, Commander Deco. You fight this battle in space. While it isn't as epic a scenario as the Earth Mimicry battle from the first game, the insanity of this battle was so great it just had to beat it out. In the first phase of the battle, Deco has what might be the largest range of attacks in the whole game. While you're combined with Kachi, you have to dodge laser pillars, sparkles of doom, bullet heck straight out of Toho, homing shots, flying blades, scrolling fireballs, a spear, and walls made out of laser beams. This battle tests you to your fullest, with your accuracy, skill, dodging, and timing all being put to the test. You cannot lose focus for a second or you will be obliterated. The battle finally comes to a close in Phase 2, which plays out similar to... which plays out similarly to the battle against Earth Mimicry, so instead of defending Earth, you're defending Kachi. You have to shoot the orange blasts in order to deflect the streams of energy back at Deco. You also have to destroy large glowing orbs and spinning blades in order to defend Kachi. All the while, one of my favorite songs in both games plays in the background. This battle is all that a final boss should be. It's difficult, well presented, and tests what you've learned throughout the game. But it isn't number one. Now let's go ahead, skip the recap, and find out who is.
Kachi!
As great a boss as Commander Deco is, its difficulty factor does make it slightly difficult to enjoy it in full. So number one has to be a boss that tests you and can prove a challenge, but nothing that you feel you might need to take a break from. Finding a boss that managed to meet these standards was a little tough, but eventually I decided on my favorite from both these games. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you, from Sin and Punishment Star Successor, Armon Ritter.
Oh, how cute. Look at you, giggling with the target you were sent here to kill. Tell me, my friend, why haven't you completed your task? I can't very well return to command empty-handed. Come now. Allow me to show you the true meaning of pain.
This battle just works. Everything about it is just awesome. Armon Ritter is a member of the Nebulox. He's a level boss of Stage 2, which was a rather decent water stage with the occasional obnoxious boss. But anything bad from that level is made up for by this fight. At the beginning of the battle, Ritter simply flies around shooting black shots at you. However, he doesn't get a health bar until he transforms into a giant stingray. This is where the fun starts. In this form, Ritter surrounds you with balls of slime and shoots you with small bullets, fires missiles at you, shoots a laser from his eye, and even uses some lightning-based attacks against you. Once you've defeated this form, he shifts again into a giant seahorse, which is surprisingly more awesome than it sounds. In this phase, he'll guard his weak point, while sending ricocheting lasers, black holes, and spinning laser beams your way. All while you have to break his guard to get hits in. Once he's taken enough damage, he'll send up humongous walls of water and send exploding projectiles towards you. You have to attack him while avoiding both of these in order to win. In his final form, Ritter takes the form of 5 dolphins, again, cooler than it sounds, and you have to focus your fire on the correct dolphin in order to damage it. During this form, Ritter can bounce around boulders towards you, shoot rings that can get you points for making it through them, but will usually end in pain, or just plain old tail slap you. Once you've defeated this form, Ritter will be defeated. This boss battle, while it seems a little odd, is fantastic. While it isn't quite as amazing as Commander Deco Earth Mimicry, it feels like it could easily be a final boss despite being less than halfway through the game. With a fair amount of challenge that never gets too horrible, and just a plain old fun fight, my mind has been made up. Armon Ritter is the best boss in the Sin and Punishment series. And let me just say, if you want to buy these games, everyone I know who bought these liked them. Even TJS001 of YouTube fame likes these games. If you like a good challenge with tons of actions and don't mind the confusing stories, give the games a go. It's a shame that they don't get that much popularity, because if there's an unpopular game that deserves to be known, it's the Sin and Punishment series. I hope you've enjoyed this countdown. Wandering Detective, out.